She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. We really are so blessed that you've chosen to join us today. Today we have a little bit of a special day because we are going to have, joining us here on this show, my daughter, my oldest daughter, Kristina Fowler, is going to be joining us today. We're going to be talking about your mindset. Your mindset has everything to do with how you approach everything in your life. Your weight, for example. I was 50 pounds overweight 4 times in my life from 18 to 22, and that was not being pregnant. That was all because of my own bad self, of a mindset that I had. I was told I was fat and ugly and stupid, and I could never do anything right. And I believed the words of my stepfather, who adopted me, when he would speak those things to me. So I began to gain weight because of this mindset that I had about being fat. Now, here on the Dani Johnson Show, you know, every single day we bring you challenging content that liberates you in your career, with your money, and with your relationships. And those relationships include the relationship with yourself. Yes, you have a relationship with yourself. And how we think determines how we act in life. And it also determines the different types of careers we may go after or not go after. Really, how we treat ourselves has a lot to do with whether or not we dream or have vision or have goals. And so I know for myself, I had a lot to overcome. And here on the Dani Johnson Show, we're about your success and you defining success for you. You see, our society defines success as having a lot of junk, a lot of stuff. But man, if your relationships suck, if you have a ton of debt to go for all the stuff and your career is lame and you hate what you do, is that success? No way, buddy. That ain't no success at all. And so today we're going to tackle the topic of mindset. We're going to tackle the issue of, wow, it all starts within. You see, out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. And I'm talking about your mind is a heart issue. And so the reason why we're bringing my daughter on, you may or may not know the story, but I was a young kid when I got pregnant with my daughter, Kristina. I was 17 years old. Parents disowned me. My boyfriend, who we had talked about getting married before I got pregnant, of course, it was a tragic deal. It was a really tragic deal. And I made the most horrific decision of my life. Still to this day, it is the worst decision I've ever made in my entire life. But I'm happy to say that this really bad story has turned into a phenomenal, amazing, miraculous story. And so my daughter, due to the fact that I took all the wrong advice from all the wrong people and I was too stupid to realize that everyone had their own motives, I did what I never wanted to do. And that was I gave my baby up for adoption when I was 18 years old. As soon as she was born, April 30th of 1987, she went home with a family who had made a lot of promises about a lot of things. We could do an entire 5 shows on our story alone, but we're not going to go into that. And so her and I both suffered from my terrible decision. But I promise you there's been an incredible story that's come out of this. One of which is that my daughter has lost almost 100 pounds, 95 pounds, and where her mindset had to change. Today, she helps other people lose weight. She's a certified coach with, you're going to find out in a minute. Anyway, so she's going to talk about the mindset about weight loss. She struggled with her weight her entire growing up life. She was 14 years old when her and I were reconciled back together again, and that journey has been an interesting one for the last 14 years, going on 15 years. And maybe we'll talk about that another time. But I want today for you and I both to be helped and to confront the issues of where our mind takes us and the results of that and the results on our kids as well. Because our kids are picking up everything we think because we think what we say. What we think we say. It comes out of our mouth and our actions seem to follow it. So joining us today here on the Dani Johnson Show is my absolute gorgeous, amazing, talented, brilliant, very wise, insane heart. This girl has a heart like you would not believe. I'm also going to welcome to my show my oldest baby girl. She has 6 children. She's a businesswoman, works tirelessly homeschooling her 6 kids. She's the cook of her household. She's the cleaner of the household. She really is a phenomenal person, an awesome daughter, a daughter that I could only have dreamt to have in my life, the oldest of our 5 kids. So welcome to the show, Kristina Fowler. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so weight loss was something that you struggled with as a little girl.
It was.
Why?
To be honest with you, I really feel that it was a belief that was put into my head at a very young age, and I made a ton of excuses surrounding this belief in my head. And
what was the belief in your head?
well, the belief in my head was that I was a pig.
Where did that belief come from?
Well, my dad that raised me, he would always come to my bedroom, and I'm a very creative person. I like to think of myself as creative. And my bedroom was always a disaster. My car was always a disaster, things like that. So I would typically get your room's a pigsty, and that translated in my brain as I'm a pig. And so I would eat like a pig, I would walk like a pig, I would dress like a pig. Everything that I would do was sloppy. And so I made an agreement in my brain that I was a pig from a very young age, and I just continued to walk in that. And so instead of reaching for some kind of solution to fixing that, I reached for excuses. And so my original excuse, I knew that I was adopted, and I figured that my biological parents must have been very overweight, big boned, and this is why I am way heavier than I should be for an 11-year-old. So, yeah.
And then the family that raised you, which we're all friends today. This is a miraculous story. In fact, we had them over for dinner.
In August?
Yeah, in August. We had them over for dinner. It was awesome. I got to make challah for them and shower all kinds of lovely food all over them. We had an awesome day. Anyway, it's a miraculous story. I mean, Kristina and I can talk to you about all kinds of crazy miracles that God has done in our lives, which is nuts. Okay, so anyway, they were not fit people either.
No, not at all.
Which is strange because when I met them, when they, were being interviewed to raise you, they both were very fit and very healthy, and they talked a lot about that. And then I was shocked to see them face to face 14 years later, like, okay, they must have changed something along the way.
Yeah.
So what kind of food were you raised on and things like that?
I ate a lot of fast food growing up. We did a lot of McDonald's, a lot of Burger King, a lot of Taco Bell. We were in, my little brother and I were in a ton of activities, and so it was the easy drive-through meals. It was always, we've got singing today, we've got cheerleading today, we've got dolls today, we've got to go to McDonald's. Here's your choice. There's 4 different, fast food restaurants. Take your pick. So I was raised on a lot of fast food, and my dad that raised me had a very big sweet tooth, and so did I. So there was always ice cream available, any flavor that you could possibly imagine. So it was always readily available. It was bad food.
Right. So bad food created the weight that you were carrying as a little girl.
Yeah. And on top of that, I was physically active. I was in all kinds of dance and cheerleading and stuff 4 and 5 days a week. So in my brain, I was thinking, I should be able to eat a little bit more because I'm exercising, which is just a big lie.
Right, right. Because what you eat actually matters.
What you eat does actually matter. It matters a lot. It varies based on who you want to listen to, but in my experience, I found that it's like 90% diet, 10% exercise. So
when we met, you were how much in your mind overweight? Because I thought you looked healthy. No, I did. I did. I thought you thought you were much larger than you actually were at 14. And we've shown the picture. Like you thought you were a cow.
I did.
And you weren't.
Let's go there for a second. So as I was being raised, one of the biggest things, because I was heavy, size 11 and 11 years old. Right. So that's definitely overweight. In high school, I was between 170 and 195 pounds.
At 5'7".
At 5'7". And I was about a size 13. I was busting out of 13s. I would wear a sweatshirt because sometimes I couldn't button my jeans. And it just depended. But what really was a bad thing for me as well was growing up, having a little extra weight, having this belief system that I was a pig. My last name growing up was Mankowski. So I was made fun of because the middle part of my last name happened to have the word cow. So I had these 2 animals in my brain that I associated with myself. One is a pig and one was a cow. So both of which are not skinny little creatures.
No, not at all. So we met and you had that mindset be shattered that you had thought, my birth mom must be huge.
Yeah, you kind of killed
killed that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was very upset because I was like, I can't live this lie anymore, thinking that this is genetics, because it wasn't, obviously. And of course, at first when I met you, I was like, well, maybe my biological dad is just a fatty and he's not either. So I was like, dang it, I can't, there's no excuse anymore. And so my brain kept going, well, maybe my grandmother or maybe somebody else, but that didn't happen either.
Yeah. So moving on, you get married, right? You have your first baby, and this is when it really piled on.
It really did pile on. It's not that I stopped caring, but I really stopped paying attention. And whenever you stop paying attention, you stop getting on the scale. It's okay. I can buy a 15, a 17, a 19 size pair of jeans. I still look good, right? You try to convince yourself of all these lies that are not true. And so I actually got up at my heaviest weight. I was 240 pounds at 5'7". So I was extremely large. I was very obese, extremely unhealthy. I had high blood pressure in my pregnancy with my son, Landon. I was hospitalized twice because my weight was just so out of control that it was causing preeclampsia. There's a lot of other things that go along with that. That it was all caused from a belief system as a child.
Right. So do you feel like I don't know, were you happy during those years?
Miserable. Yeah. I was absolutely miserable. I would go into a dressing room and I would cry. I would hate going shopping. I kept onto the same pair of jeans as long as I could. I would find anything that had elastic. I was the messy bun mom. I would wear a messy bun on my head, no makeup on my face. I would wear yoga pants and a big t-shirt and a sweatshirt probably to cover up my belly rolls. And
actually, it didn't cover the belly.
No, it definitely didn't.
It's amazing. Like when I look at you today, because you're 95 pounds smaller.
Correct.
You're a size 4, itty bitty tiny little thing. First time ever in your life, a size 4, other than maybe the 3rd grade.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? And mindset had everything to do with it, because when God reunited me and my baby, instantly, I'm telling her how beautiful she is and how smart she is, and she couldn't receive it. She couldn't receive the encouragement that I was telling her and just showing her, no, Kristina, you're gorgeous. In fact, she moved in with us when she was 16 years old, and just eating what we ate, like our family. You know, we don't buy sodas, and there's not sugar in the house. You know, once a week there might be dessert, but just eating what I served the family. You know, some of it was fried chicken and mashed potatoes, or chicken fried steak, or pasta, or whatever. She lost 30 pounds the first 30 days, just simply not having fast food anymore, because we don't eat fast food. Simply by drinking water instead of soda, she lost 30 pounds in 30 days and still could not believe how beautiful she was. We're going to continue more about mindset right after this.
So what did Dani do to take back control over her own life? The answer might surprise you. It's coming up next. Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
More resources, more training, more results. The DaniJohnson.com Insider membership is your ultimate success shortcut. Get exclusive access to reports, videos, audios, ebooks, cheat sheets, and other training for your personal and professional life. This is truly DaniJohnson.com's best kept secret. Become an Insider member today and get on the fast track to success.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your freedom, your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
Did you know you can take the Dani Johnson Show with you wherever you go? It's never been easier to stay up to date with the latest content from Dani with the DaniJohnson.com app. Watch or listen in the car, at the gym, or on the go. Download it now from the App Store and Google Play and never miss a show again. Your family, business, and bank account will thank you. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do with your life? Discover your own answer. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
You think you're fat? You'll be fat. You'll talk like you're fat. You'll make fat choices. This is Dani Johnson. Welcome to the show. Today, joining me is my beautiful, gorgeous, amazingly talented daughter, Kristina, who actually has lost 95 pounds. She's kept it off for nearly 4 years now. Yeah, she's almost on 4 years that she's kept the weight off. And we're talking about the mindset about weight loss and how does weight actually begin to pack on? Is it really all food, or does it have to do with your mind, how you think about yourself, how you treat yourself? This is something that both of us had struggled with. From 18 to 22, I was 50 pounds overweight. I lost 50 pounds 4 times from 18 to 22, and that was without being pregnant. Kristina struggled with her weight for most of her life. And my daughter, this is my oldest of 5, she was, if you don't know the story, she was adopted. Obviously, she came out of my body. She was raised for the first 14 years of her life by somebody else. It's a nasty yet glorious, miraculous story. And we were just talking about her childhood with the people who had adopted her and raised her. Wonderful, precious people. All parents do the best they can, and sometimes people make mistakes. No, not sometimes. All the time, people make mistakes. And so we're learning about what finally changed for Kristina, because she was that girl who was gorgeous, beautiful woman, smart, intelligent. Oh my gosh, so attractive in every way. And yet, even though when I had met her when she was 14 and she moved in with us shortly thereafter, she lost 30 pounds in 30 days just eating what we served at the table. Okay, and we don't have soda. We didn't do juice. You know, yes, I made fried chicken and Kentucky. You know, and what are they?
Chicken fried steak.
Oh yes, I should make that.
No, you should.
Tacos and enchiladas and pasta and all this stuff. And yet she still lost 30 pounds in 30 days just because we never went to fast food. We didn't drink sodas. We didn't drink juice. We didn't have dessert every night. And she ate well, but still lost weight, but still believed that she was a cow, still believed she was a pig from simple little comments that the father who raised her, who loved her, that he spoke into her life. And if he had any idea that that was going to hurt her physically, he would have never, ever spoken these words. There's no question in my mind. We all do it as parents. We do it as coworkers. We do it as siblings. And it's lame, but it is reality. So what finally changed? Because you were that woman who was beautiful and had all this talent, yet you were the girl that was wearing a messy bun on your head. You wouldn't put any makeup on. You wouldn't clean your house. You wore your husband's T-shirt with her belly hanging from the bottom of it, okay, after she had like several kids. And yet there was all that skin with all the stretch marks. That was you. That was you.
Yeah, I know.
That was you.
So bad.
And I still loved you. And I still encouraged you and told you how beautiful you were and how talented you were. But it wouldn't get into her head, no matter. No. And again, just to tell you, as much as I said it to her, that was still seed planted. She now sees herself this way today, no longer sees herself as a
pig or a cow.
A pig or a cow.
That's right.
But a wonderful, beautiful, talented woman of the Most High God, an amazing mother, talented businesswoman. So what changed? I know what changed, but they need to hear, because there's someone listening right now that's struggling with the same thing. So what changed? What finally made you, because you used to tell me, I'm happy being fat.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't wanna
nothing but
lose
a
weight.
cover-up, though.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of clients, actually, who have started out with this passion and they want to lose so bad. And then when something happens, they get to a roadblock and they end up quitting. And it's all next thing that's on Facebook is, oh, I'm thick and proud. And I'm thinking, oh, my gosh, I used to say that because it would be just this cover-up of I'm happy the way I am, because the reality behind it is you are having a really hard time sticking to the program and you just can't do it. I'm sorry. And what always that always happens is that people have a deeper rooted issue. Mine happened to be those words that were spoken to me. One that had nothing even to do with my weight, but I put it into my brain as it did, and the other one definitely did. So Mankowski, I was the cow because of my last name, and I was made fun of all through school with that name, and it was terrible.
But what changed? What finally
It was
brought
a
you to the
mental
place?
thing. It was all a mental thing. So I had a family member who actually started something, and she started losing a ton of weight. And I'm very challenge oriented, and I don't like to be last, and I like
You
to
have
win.
no idea.
I always win. And so she had started a program, and I watched her lose 60 pounds from my daughter's birthday in September down to Christmas. And then I saw her again at the end of January, and she'd lost another 20. So it's 80 pounds from September to almost February. And I was like, what are you doing? And she said, I'm not going to tell you, because even if I did tell you, you would have excuses. You would say that it's too expensive or you couldn't do it, or you'd have another reason. And so
I have to stop you right there. Because this kid was an excuse-aholic. I'm not
queen of excuses.
Seriously. It was almost like she was the author and finisher of excuses.
Yes.
Okay, and we're talking about her mother, okay, who birthed her, in case you haven't figured that out. We've never heard that we look alike. Anyway, never. Or that we sound alike. No, never. Anyway, or that we have the same mannerisms, which is hilarious because this is the one that wasn't raised in the house for the first 14 years, and yet she came into the house looking, acting, walking, talking the same. Anyway, when we get back, we're going to talk about what was that thing that finally switched in her head. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue after this.
In your face and in your corner. You've never had a coach like this before. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
I just heard this amazing story. One of our clients had written us telling us that they had used job domination and unlimited success and has absolutely exploded their career. He said, Dani, I don't know where I'd be today without job domination and unlimited success. Listen, do you want more recognition from your coworkers? Do you want to be recommended to people all over the world? Do you want to be somebody that is highly sought after? Listen, if you're in a dead-end place where this gentleman found himself, but then learned new strategies and changed everything in his work life, and obviously this has resulted in higher bonuses and pay raises, you're next. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Job Domination right now. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Job domination. That's what you need. It's time for you to dominate the job market and break through the rut that you're in.
Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was working 60 to 75 hours a week. I was completely stressed out. I was incredibly angry with my husband. We were in over $350,000 worth of debt. By applying the strategies that Dani teaches, in the last 3.5 years, we have paid off $170,000 in debt. We are no longer roommates, and we no longer spend every single cent that we make. We now have made tens of thousands of dollars in passive income in investments. We are on the right track. We're traveling around the world together, and we are building homes for those who really need it. So I don't know about you, but if you want to cut back from 60 to 20 and 30 hours a week, if you want to mend some relationships, if you want to make your life more efficient and a lot more fun, and you want to be the best version of you, I highly recommend that you get registered because your life is about to change.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, First Steps to Success in Creating Dynasty, my wife and I were really lost. We were struggling in a relationship. We were struggling financially, drowning in debt. Our relationship was really broken. We were in a bad place. We were living in two completely different states and not really honoring each other. Once we got plugged into the community, we noticed a shift in our lives. Most importantly, we came together as a husband and wife. That was the first thing we did. And when we finally came together under the same roof, things started to change. Over the past 3 years, we've been able to pay off over $495,000 in debt. I know in my business, I've had a job created for me that increased my income by 50%. That has actually opened up the door to allow my wife and I to spend more time with each other. So I don't know where you are. I don't know if your relationship is super awesome. I don't know if your job is immaculate. I don't know if you're debt-free. But what I do know is if you're not any one of those things, your next step is to get plugged into DaniJohnson.com, go on the website, get plugged into the community. I promise you, your life will never be the same.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was a broke college student, drowning in debt, and I felt like the world was crashing all around me, and I had bad relationships. Since plugging into DaniJohnson.com and First Steps to Success, I was able to pay off $6,600 in 4 months. Now I'm able to give 10% of my income to wherever my heart desires. I actually, using the skills that I learned from Dani, I actually landed a job before I graduated college, and I'm able to travel the world. All I know is if you're serious about annihilating your debt, traveling the world, helping people, and having fun doing so, I highly recommend you get registered for the next First Steps to Success. Do it now, don't wait, don't even thinking about it. If you're ready to change your life, just do it.
We went to our first ever First Steps to Success just 10 weeks ago, and it has definitely been life-changing ever since.
We felt like we got hit by a 2x4, but it was the best 2x4 because what we realized is that our priorities were clearly out of line. I had been building a home-based business and had been working 80 to 100 hours, and I realized that that is not my role, and that I had actually taken my husband's, and it was that realization that something had to change, and we immediately went home and changed everything. There was no hesitation. We said, you know what, we need to be obedient to God.
Mm-hmm. And we've implemented the tools day one. We started implementing what Dani taught us, invested in ourselves, invested in our kids, got our priorities in line. We've now actually paid off just not quite $60,000 in debt and looking at a couple more investments here as head of the household.
It's been absolutely incredible. So I just encourage you, if any of this speaks to you, if you're wanting to get out of debt, if you're wanting better communication, if you're wanting to elevate to the higher level of life, get to First Steps to Success and plug into DaniJohnson.com.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
Can how you think make you fat? Joining me right now is my gorgeous daughter, Kristina, mother of 6, homeschooling mother of 6. She's lost 95 pounds, have kept it off now for 4 years, successfully helps other people to do the same. She believes, as well as myself, that it all starts with the mind. It all starts with how you think about yourself. So here she was. She had given birth 3 times at this point. Yeah, yes. The belly is hanging below the t-shirt, above the sweats.
Oh, well, don't forget the rollover yoga pant band that the fat actually goes over, and you have to remember to tuck it back over the top.
This is the girl that did not care about herself. And she wasn't raised in our house for the first 14 years due to a terrible mistake that I personally made, and it hurt the 2 of us. Listening to the wrong people and being foolish was my fault, no question. So the first 14 years, she was raised in a different home with different food and different mindsets, and picked up some mindsets that didn't work out so well. So anyway, so now you are in your early 20s. You are obese, 240 pounds at 5'7", and you encounter an in-law who had lost 80 pounds, and you said, "I gotta have it."
Well, what actually happened is that my in-laws. And it ended up saying, "Oh, well, we're going to do what she's doing." And I was like, I refuse to be the last one in this family fat. This is not going to happen.
It was a huge family.
Yes, everybody was
enormous,
extremely obese. And
like
so,
300 pounds.
Over
300 pounds.
Wow. Yes. So
You were heading in that direction.
I was definitely heading in that direction. And it was crazy because I've always encountered people that are like, oh, well, you only gained that much weight because you were pregnant. No. Honey. I was fat before I ever even got pregnant. So I just had really bad habits. And I believed in my brain, honestly, that I was a pig and I was a cow and I was fat and I was all of these things that were just so not true.
And this also played a factor in your finances?
Oh, completely. My housekeeping. My house was
a disaster.
Slop. Yeah, it was disgusting. So
And you wouldn't work.
No, I was lazy. I was like a pig that laid in its slop. I was very lazy. I spent money foolishly. I did all kinds of really dumb things. And
went into massive amounts of debt.
Yes, I sure did. Yep. I did a lot of bad things that really came out of my mind. I really didn't believe that I could work. I didn't believe that I had any self-worth at all whatsoever. And it was gnarly. Even though I had you and a lot of other people in my life always telling me how awesome I was, and my parents that raised me are always showering me with compliments and, oh, you're just so smart. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. And this is the kid that didn't go on to college or anything, because I really had these thoughts in my brain where I thought, I'm not worth it. I'm a cow. I'm a pig. I got made fun of a lot in school. And I just kind of owned that. So it was nobody's fault but my own for owning those things.
So you get started on a weight loss system.
So I got started on a weight loss system. Now, I had lost the same 30 pounds over, the course of 10 years many times. Once being at your house, got out of your house and gained it all right back, no problem. Got pregnant, had babies, gained weight, lost weight. A bunch of times. But what really clicked for me was I had support. And support made a huge difference. And I needed somebody to be my accountability, because when you don't have accountability, and let me stop myself right there before I go any farther, your spouse is usually not good accountability.
No.
They're terrible.
No.
Especially if they've never had a weight problem. Do not rely on your spouse or any family. I actually recommend to all of my clients to not even tell their family that they're doing a diet at all or any kind of lifestyle change, because lots of times you have the diet experts and the diet haters that will come up to you and be like, oh, well, that's really great that you're doing that, but I've seen this diet and this diet and this diet, and how do you know that's going to work? And that's actually really expensive, and they have everything to say that typically will derail you. So the best thing you can do is get a third party to be your accountability coach and to really help you. And I remember getting to the point where I had this coach. She had become a really good friend of mine. I had lost 40 pounds in 3 months, and I remember calling her upset. And she was like, tell me why you're upset again. I've only lost 40 pounds in 3 months. And she says, okay. And she had me figured out. She knew how challenge-oriented I was. So she says to me, all right, I'll make you a deal. If you're down 50 pounds by your anniversary, then you have to stay on. If you're not, then you can quit. I was 50.6 on that scale that morning. And the agreement was I couldn't cheat. I couldn't do anything in that time. So the mixture of having the accountability and having many goals, every 5 to 10 pounds, having a small goal made the difference. It made a huge difference. And then the other thing that was so important was I had tunnel vision. Everything I did, everything I thought of, everybody that I spoke to, that's all I would think about, dream about, speak about. If I was on Pinterest, that was what I was looking at, was weight loss before and afters. I was Googling it. I consumed myself with my goals. Because if you don't, it is so easy to go down a rabbit hole and find yourself a Snickers bar. So you have to keep yourself completely focused. Another thing I did was I found skinny friends. And I watched what they did. My girlfriend, Kristen, I did a video about this. I owe so much of my weight loss journey to her. I would watch her. When we would go somewhere to eat, whatever she ordered, I ordered. However much of that she ate, I would eat. If we were in her kitchen, I was watching what she was putting in it. I'm like, wait, you don't use 3 sticks of butter in that? Oh man, I'm using way too much. You mean butter? She doesn't know this. I bet you anything. 1 tablespoon of butter is 100 calories.
Nope, I don't know that.
But now you do. No more excuses, because she is the butter queen.
Love butter.
Way too much. So I did too. And I grew up on a lot of butter. And then I go to her house, which has a lot of butter. So, there's things like that you don't even realize. But I got to watch and observe. And you find somebody who has what you want. Yes. And you copy them, because their recipe for what you want obviously works.
Let's stop right here. Because you're awesome, Kristina. I love this. You've taken first steps to success.
Yes, I have.
And you applied it to weight loss.
I sure did.
Which is so awesome. Okay, so I want to point a few things out. Number one, she talked about accountability. Now, anytime you want to succeed in anything, you have to have third-party accountability.
Yes.
It's so true. Because even through my years of making babies and spitting them out and then, needing to get back to the pre-baby weight, my husband is a sugaraholic. He is. He's horrible. And he loves fast food. So he has no self-control at all with food at all, right? And so I would get so mad. If I would have heard that a long time ago, it would have helped me not get so mad.
Yes.
But I didn't use him as an excuse not to lose that last 10 pounds, after giving birth. I didn't at all. But he made it hard because, he's like, hey, want a Reese's peanut butter cup? How about some Twix bars? He's doing the midnight run somewhere at Jack in a Box with 4 tacos or whatever.
Or sending me to go get it.
I know, as a teenager, which is terrible. Anyway, so number one, third-party accountability. That is so wise. And it is interesting when you start telling everybody what you're doing, how now everybody wants to be an expert in your life and they have no stack, as we call it. They have no results in their own personal life. The second thing, and this is so smart, is she began to focus on the goal. So looking at other people's before and after pictures, you can find them all over all your social media. It's surrounding you. So again, let's say that weight loss is not the goal, because this show is about your success and defining success for you. I've done the same exact thing with business. I've done the same exact thing with my marriage, right? That you want to have a healthy, good marriage, you start studying people who have that. And really, not the ones who lie and say they've never had any problems. Oh, I want to just... I had counselors even tell me that, and at least one of them tells the truth, which is usually the husband, like, no, we have fought our whole marriage. Oh, thanks for telling me the truth. Anyway, so as far as succeeding in anything, whether it's the marriage, whether it is business or your career, it is important to look at success stories that other people have had and begin to study those success stories and remind yourself of those pictures. Showing pictures of who they are. I remember when I started in business 27 years ago, I had met a woman who was a preschool teacher, and she made $6.50 an hour, and now she's making $250,000 a year. I had my picture taken with her. It was so powerful to have that reminder. She's a multi-millionaire today. To have that reminder in front of me, a physical, visual goal of this is who I want to be, this is what I want to become. So take what she's saying. Accountability. Yes, have accountability. Other people walking through the same thing. Whether you're paying off debt with war on debt, have other people that are using war on debt as accountability. If it's weight loss, having somebody like Kristina, who is a professional coach, a licensed coach, who helps people lose weight. You've helped people lose thousands and thousands of pounds. Yes. Whether it's marriage, right? Find someone who's made it through the storms of marriage and study them, right? And as she said in this last thing, find someone who has what you want and do what they do. Study them, watch them, pay attention to what's coming out of their mouth
yes.
and what's going into your mouth. That goes for money. That goes for relationships. That goes for your career. It goes for everything. Find successful people. Study them. Find someone who has what you want. Even being a mom. She's got 6 kids. She's a homeschooling mom. I had 5 kids. I'm a homeschooling mom. Happy to say all 5 graduated. She graduated as a homeschool student. She was living with us at that point. Everyone graduated early, a year early. And we have amazing human beings like this that come out of that. So find someone who has what you want. Study what comes out of their mouth and also what goes in their mouth, as well as what goes in their ears.
Yes,
because
totally.
success, it's a simple formula. It's a simple recipe. And you clearly found that with weight loss. I mean, because you grew up with first steps to success from the time you were 16? Yeah, 16. 16 was her first steps to success. And literally, it's like all those seeds were planted, even though there wasn't fruit right away. In fact, you went and made a mess. This girl wanted to see if she could make the biggest mess. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
When we come back, Kristina will share her third tip, the one that ties it all together. Don't miss a word of it. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson. The most common question I get usually are from people who are trying to juggle their life. They've got kids who are involved in all kinds of activities. They've got business or their job, finances, trying to get out of debt, plus all their church activities and all the volunteer activities. And they're pulling their hair out going, how do I juggle this all? Man, I once lived just like that until I learned Time Secrets. Time Secrets showed me how to be able to cut my hours from 100 hours a week that I was working down to 20 hours a week and tripled my income as a direct result with what I learned. Time Secrets also showed me how to get my priorities in order, which healed up my marriage. And I became a mother that I was proud of versus becoming the mother I didn't want to be. And so if you feel like your world is running around in all kinds of different circles, you can fix that. Call 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880 for Time Secrets.
Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
So 4 years ago in July, we showed up to our first Dani Johnson event, our first Steps to Success. And we were completely desperate in every area of our life. At the time, I thought it was just because of our finances, but then I figured out pretty quickly that it was because of my lack of people skills that we were where we were. We sat in the front row. We got fast track, and we sat in the front row right in the center next to some amazing people because we were so hungry, so desperate, so broken, and I pretty much cried through the entire event, honestly. And when she did the War on Debt, which she will show you, this afternoon, I went back immediately and got it. She had just started talking. I heard a couple stories, and I was like, if they can do it, I know we can do it. So we went back and got it and listened to it on the way home in the car, because we drove from Michigan all the way to Missouri. So we listened to it in the car, and when we got home, we immediately got our papers out. We wrote down our plan, and we started applying it. And within 14 months, we paid off over $62,000 worth of debt. We never in a million years thought that was possible. There's so much that has happened in the last 4 years, and I'm the person that wants the results immediately. I don't like the process of getting there. I want to just get there. But I've learned to appreciate the process over the last 4 years, and just seeing the transformation that has happened in us. Personally, we individually experienced different things, and we experienced a lot of things together. I was paying our bills. I was completely disrespectful to my husband and didn't really know how bad it actually was. And so that part of our life is still improving. I can say we're a work in progress. It takes time, and we have grown so much.
We showed up. My wife, I didn't know this at the time, but she was battling thoughts of suicide. I had no idea. I thought I was being a perfectly good husband. I did my best to serve her, be a great guy. But what she needed was somebody who would step up and be a leader in our marriage. That's not who I was. And I was totally emasculated, physically emasculated by, there was someone in our church, the pastor, and so we felt the brokenness of a church, having to leave and just hurt, and devastated. One of the biggest breakthroughs started in our marriage is when Lucy started being a wife to me. And I, as a leader, I should step up, right? Take action first, be the initiator. She did it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a completely different person. And I can tell you, our marriage has just, it's amazing the difference between her feeling suicidal, me stepping down as a leader, to me taking the initiative and just looking her in the eyes and saying, honey, thank you for allowing me to be your leader. And she just melts every time. This is awesome. So. So let me just tell you this, guys. If you're struggling, or you're broke, you're wondering what your next step is, hey, just take action. Follow those notes that you just took. Take action and do it, because your story is going to be here, and people are going to be inspired by your story. So are you all ready to take notes? All right, let's do this. Help me welcome Miss Dani Johnson, America's favorite millionaire, to the stage.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Success has to do, and it all starts with you. That's what it has to start with. Joining me today is Kristina Fowler. She's actually our firstborn daughter of 5 kids. She's a professional weight loss coach, licensed through, who are you licensed with again?
I'm a certified health coach through the Center of Obesity Prevention and Education.
Which is amazing.
Thanks.
So proud of you. Okay, so you just gave 2 tips in our last segment. What would be your third tip?
My third tip is the tunnel vision. I mean, to really go into that, you really have to focus, and your goals need to be specific. I wonder where I learned that. When you can't just set a goal. I have people that are like, okay, I'm on this weight loss journey, and they don't own a scale. You can't do that. You have to know where you're starting, and you have to know where you're going to, and you have to get yourself a roadmap the whole way through. If you don't, then you're just going to fall through the cracks, and it's just not going to work out.
And that's
for
where the
you.
Snicker bar is in the cracks.
The Snicker bar and the Rolos and a bag of Doritos are all in those cracks. So it's really a matter of tunnel vision, staying extremely focused, writing your goals out. I cannot tell you how powerful it is to be able to color in one of those little squares that represents a pound every single time that you lose one. So it's very important. And part of that is dedicating certain rewards that are not food rewards to yourself for getting down these milestones. And like I said, it needs to be every 5 to 10 pounds. If it's not every 5 to 10 pounds, then you usually get lost. So you've got to make sure that these are very specific goals, and it's every 5 to 10 pounds.
Yeah, which is awesome. And again, that goes for money, that goes for weight loss, that goes for marriage. If you're going through a tough marriage time right now, same thing. It's like small little milestones. There's got to be a celebration that happens each time. And for you, you bought clothes that you wanted to fit in. I remember you doing that.
And I totally recommend that for all of my clients. I tell everyone, if you're in a size 12, I want you to buy yourself a pair of jeans. I don't care if you get them from the thrift store. You need to get them every single size, all the way down to your goal size. And if you say, I don't know what my goal size is, that's an even bigger problem.
That's no vision.
It is.
You'll never
get there. You have to have the vision. So a website that I recommend to everybody is mybodygallery.com, because it's literally pictures of women. You can pick their shape, you can pick their height, you can pick the weight and the size. And you can go and look and see real live women's pictures, and it'll give you an idea. Print that woman's body out and put it on the inside of your journal. You need to be able to look and visually see, oh, this is what I'm going to look like. Not this is what I want to look like. This is what I am going to look like. So that's the only way to really keep your focus that's tunnel vision. Do not let outsiders distract you. Don't tell a bunch of people about what you're doing, because you will get expert advice from people who are 100 pounds overweight.
Yes. So right now we've got a few people who have called in who have some questions for you. I'm going to start with Dehavilland Ford from Dallas, Texas. Dehavilland, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
What can we do for you?
I love what you I love what you shared, Kristina, because I'm also a stay-at-home mom, and I seem to struggle with either I'm all in for the exercise and not the eating, or all in for the eating and not the exercise. And I make excuses. I've realized, just because I saw you, how honest you were. I've made excuses over the years. Okay, I just need mommy time. I have 2 kids. I need mommy time. But the mommy time turns into pig out time. And I've used that as an outlet, and I've noticed that I've been stuck. Like right now, I am doing Fit for Mom, and I am, I eat organic, I eat clean. But then when I have my mommy time, that mommy time always becomes my downfall. That's, okay, the kids are down, let me snack. And that turns into a nightmare. And then all my hard work feels like it just went down the drain.
And it does.
And so I'm just trying to make that click in my brain that mommy time doesn't have to be eating bad. It can be enjoying, still eating healthy.
But what would you recommend to that, Kristina? Because you were just saying that the reward cannot be food.
It cannot be food. So here's what I would recommend. First of all, there's always a root issue. There's a reason why you think that mommy time results in you overeating or eating things that you shouldn't be. So you really need to go back. It took a lot for me to have those words come out of my mouth that I was a pig or a cow, and that those were the beliefs that really caused me to act that way. I can tell you, I've coached thousands of people lose weight, and 100% ratio of the ones that have been successful have all come out with their root issue as to why they self-sabotage, which is exactly what you're doing. Yep. So there's a reason and there's a belief in your brain that is telling you, I can overeat when the kids are down. I deserve this. This is an entitlement thing. It's not okay. So maybe what you need is, I recommend to my clients that you need an evacuation route. You need to have a plan for that downtime that your kids are down and that you're by yourself, and you need to know that, yes, it is mommy time. It's mommy's time to respect mommy's body. It's mommy's time to feel good about mommy's body. Otherwise, you're going to start resenting your time by yourself, and you're going to start making yourself go crazy because you're going to want more time with kids. You need
The other thing is she needs to look at, were you rewarded as a child with food?
Yes.
If you were a good girl, then you deserved a cookie, right? Were you bribed with food? A lot of parents bribe their children with food. And so if you were bribed with food, you got to deal with that root issue, because that's a program that was put in your head concerning, your weight, believe it or not. That, am I a good girl? That means I get to eat whatever I want.
That's right. And
that's disastrous.
I have had so many clients with that exact root issue. It has been, I've been good, I get to eat. No, that's not how it works, because you know just as well as I know that if you do screw up just one meal, and there's people that believe that you can have cheat meals, but I want to be 100% honest with you. If I have a cheat meal, I'm up 2 pounds the next day on the scale. Everybody's body's different, but I can tell you I've done this for the last 4 years, and I have seen that consistently with every single one of my clients and myself. So if you want to screw up your entire week of hard work, then go ahead and think that it's okay to cheat. Yep. I highly suggest having an evacuation route. Make sure that you have it written down. This is my plan the next time I put my kids down for a nap. This is my plan the next time I have mommy time.
It's brilliant.
This is what I'm going to eat.
We've got Andrew from Ohio. He actually is a trainer. He trains others on how to lose weight. And he has a question. He's hit a place where he needs some help. Andrew, welcome to the show. Andrew, did you mute yourself? Hello, Andrew, are you there? We can't hear Andrew. That's tragic. Okay, well, unfortunately, let me try one more time opening that line. Andrew, welcome. Nope. We see Andrew, but we can't hear Andrew. So on that note, we were talking about this on the break, that, he has some clients that have hit a plateau and they're just not moving. What do you recommend? I have 60 seconds before I have to close up.
Okay, so there's a couple things with plateaus. Most likely it's a mental plateau. It's not an actual plateau. Lots of people think that if I don't lose something every day, if I don't lose something every week, that it's a plateau. Now, technically speaking, a plateau is only if you don't lose an ounce over 3 weeks. Most people are like, I've had clients call me, I haven't lost anything in 3 days. I'm on a plateau. I'm like, no, you're a spoiled brat. There's a really big difference.
Wow.
So really get in.
Like, does anyone actually have a plateau?
Usually not. And if they do, it's usually their own fault. So it usually has nothing to do with what their plateau is. And if they are in a true plateau, they're self-sabotaging every time, hands down. You are not following your program. You are not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You are not eating what you're supposed to be eating, or you're not exercising when you're supposed to be exercising. That if you eat what you're supposed to eat, you do what you're supposed to do, you lose. It's just what happens, unless you have another medical condition.
Which you just had a bunch of your clients come out to First Steps to Success.
I did.
Who were plateaued.
Right. I have
and they're all losing weight.
Like crazy. I have one that has lost 3.4 pounds at the very least every week since then. This girl struggled to get a pound off a week before then. And she could never not cheat. She's not cheated one time since she left First Steps, but she found her root issue.
Yes.
That root issue is so important, you guys. That and finding your purpose, whatever your why is.
Yes.
The why is so important.
Yes. Well, I know that you've thoroughly enjoyed having our daughter, Kristina, join us today. You know what? I know also that everything that's flown out of her mouth applies to your finances, to the marriage, to being a parent, to being a career person. I know that you got a lot of help. We would love to hear from you about what helped you today. Come to our website and give us some comments. This is Dani Johnson. We got one more segment with you right after this.
Stay right here for more of the Dani Johnson Show.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
More resources, more training, more results. The DaniJohnson.com Insider Membership is your ultimate success shortcut. Get exclusive access to reports, videos, audios, ebooks, cheat sheets, and other training for your personal and professional life. This is truly DaniJohnson.com's best kept secret. Become an Insider member today and get on the fast track to success.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
Did you know you can take the Dani Johnson Show with you wherever you go? It's never been easier to stay up to date with the latest content from Dani with the DaniJohnson.com app. Watch or listen in the car, at the gym, or on the go. Download it now from the App Store and Google Play and never miss a show again. Your family, business, and bank account will thank you. And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
You can succeed. I don't care how big the goal, how big the dream is. I don't care how big the mountain is that you feel like you're going to have to cross. I know that today helped you. Whether you have weight to lose or not, the bottom line is success has a formula. And that formula was revealed to you today, and you can do it. No matter what the goal or the dream is, use the exact same things that Kristina just finished telling you about to be able to help you get over that mountain pass that right now looks too big, too heavy, too hard. I know for a fact because I've watched my kid lose 95 pounds. I've watched her pay off her and her husband pay off $160,000 worth of debt in the last 13 months. I know that anything is possible. Really, I'm telling you, anything is possible. To help you on that road, I want to give you a gift. All of us here at DaniJohnson.com want to encourage you with tools, the exact same kind of tools that Kristina was talking about earlier. It's called First Steps to Wealth. It's the journey of how I went from homeless to millions to multi-millionaire, giving away all the money that our business makes straight into taking care of those who can't take care of themselves. First Steps to Wealth, chapter by chapter, has strategy after strategy to help enlighten you as well as encourage you and give you a formula that is going to work for annihilating your debt, improving your relationships, helping those relationships be harmonious and reconciling poor toxic relationships and turning everything around, as well as how to grow a business or your current career. How to grow that. How do I get from where I'm at to where I want to be? This book, 12 chapters, packed with content that is going to help you succeed. We'd like to give it to you for free. You can download it immediately by going to DaniJohnson.com. You'll see right on the homepage a place to get your copy, plus 2 free audios that'll help you overcome fear. But if you'd like a physical copy, if you want the physical book that I'm holding right now, you're one of those like me, dog ear, highlight, right in the margin, make a mess. If you're that kind of a person, like you want to feel what you're reading, you can call our office right now and we'd love to send you a free copy. You cover the shipping to get the book to your house and we will pay for the $15 book. We will cover the $15 book if you pay the shipping and handling to your house. Dial 866-760-8255. Again, that's 866-760-8255. While you're on the phone with one of our team who you will love, ask for Nellie, ask for Nate. These are great people that love you and want to see you succeed. Maybe one of those third-party accountability partners. Ask them about where the next first steps to success is. Look into it. We want to see you succeed wildly out there in the marketplace. We want to see your family members turn to you and say, how have you done this? We want you to be the inspiration to everyone that you work with and everyone that you go to church with and everyone that you live with. We believe that that is what your calling is here on this planet. You're going to make a difference. We would love to help you on your journey of becoming the wildly successful person you've always dreamt of becoming. Again, First Steps to Success. Call now, find out more, 866-760-8255. as well as get your free copy of First Steps to Wealth. Looking forward to seeing you live one day in some city around the world. We really have been so blessed by who you are, and we thank you for everything that you're doing to be a better person at home, as well as using your money to help others succeed as well. God bless you. Have an awesome day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Did you hear that last segment? Do you know someone else who needs to hear it? Go to DaniJohnson.com, find today's show, and share it online. This has been the Dani Johnson Show. Join us every weekday at 7 a.m. for more insights that will help you get to the life you've always wanted.